out, man. I was so out. I go, you know what? Tonight's not our night. We'll get back after the Royals. You're down 5-0. And the Gardiac kids do it again. There is no quit in this team. There is no say die in this team. And the fact that they are doing it with the bats. What a flip that has been for us when it comes to the Cleveland Guardians over the last couple of years, where you thought 5 runs, this game's over, man. Not this team, man. Not how they are hitting, and it continues to be unsung heroes. Yeah, you had Josh Naylor going yard yesterday. No! Ah! How many people found out yesterday that walks do not count as total bases?
Which I think is total BS.
You acquired
it's
a base.
a base. It doesn't make sense.
You acquired a base, did you not? We'll get to that with our boost. We got another one. I am feeling something for our boost tonight. Down into my soul, into the core that I have for our boost tonight. We'll get to that coming up, but the Guards, yes, what a win for them yesterday. What a message sent to the Royals. Bobby Witt, a thorn in our side, and then oops, my bad. You know, one of the most basic level Little League things. How many outs are there, Bob?
We're going to one. We're going to one.
Go to Who do you have? Right, where are we going with the ball? 1 out, 2 outs. Go to first, man. But what a game for the Guardians. The bullpen lights out again. We'll talk a little Tristan McKenzie. You know where I'm at with the starting pitching. We'll get to that coming up. We got a little basketball to sprinkle in, of course, LeBron. Going back to his time with the Cavs and Kyrie. We'll get to that coming up. We got some Browns. We got the grid. We got the bracket, which 1 or 2 votes could sway things on the bracket today. We'll get to all that coming up right here on a Victory Wednesday on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. What a freaking GD win that was for the Guards last night. Let's go. I think like a lot of people, I was like, man, 5, it's Lugo. I always just keep thinking of Loogie. I don't know why. It's not good. Shouldn't think of that. But man, the Guardians, they don't stop. They don't stop. And again, like, you know, you talk about the question of what you expect out of this team. They're going to win the AL Central. Okay, I told you that. Well, I put a bet on him or as just a fan. But like with where they're at right now, it just continues to be the belief, right? That this team down 5-0 could have packed it in. Hey, man, tonight's not our night. McKenzie had a rough start. And it's just the little things. Again, Naylor hitting a home run certainly gave you some momentum. Tyler frickin' Freeman, man. And Brennan had 2 hits. Let's go. Like, you get that momentum rolling. And then it's like a suffocating, and usually use that word with like basketball. You play a suffocating defense, or you talk about, football. They play suffocating defense. The Guardians played they're like boa constrictors, man. Like they get you, and then they just squeeze, and then they just start getting after you, and then they force you into mistakes. They force you into bad pitches, and all of a sudden, they turn the game right on around. And watching that brand of baseball, that's the kind of stuff that I think carries you to playoffs. That carries you through, even when you hit bad stretches, which I got to tell you, this team has avoided the bad stretches at this point. It's because they don't think they're out of any game. And all it does over and over. Now, I don't want them falling to 5-run deficits in games just to see if they can come back and screw around. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's like having that to fall back on to say, we know we can win any game against almost anybody. Seth Lugo, who had 1 bad start in 12 starts, 1 loss, and that was only his only bad start, and you got to him for 5 runs. 5. The only reason he didn't take the loss was you just tied the game, and they put it on that reliever. You got after the best pitcher in. That'd be my biggest message from Stephen Vogt to his team when they come in today. Guys, you got after the best pitcher in the American League. And you just didn't tag him for a couple of runs. You got him for 5 after his team was up. That is, I don't want to say that's a knockout punch. because you have so much baseball to go. And I think Hammy said on the broadcast, that was game 1 of 13 against the Royals. Why we had to wait till June to play them, I don't know. But it is that much sweeter that you were able to beat them in the fashion that you did and when you did. But that is just the message sent. I asked that for the Twins series a little while ago, and I asked it for the Royals series. Now, I want to go win tonight, and we have something special to announce for tomorrow. Let's just do it now. Tomorrow, we are not going to have our normal show from 9 to 11. Ryan, myself, and is Padone coming too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's you and I are going to do a live stream watching the game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So we will not be on from 9 to 11 tomorrow. We're going to be on 1 to 3 tomorrow. And same channels. We'll be on the Big Play channel. We'll be on our own channel presented by Tipico. We'll be doing some Nerfies. Are you going to do it?
I don't know.
Are you going to do it?
I really want to, but I've been really good of like staying in a caloric deficit and really getting
Ryan
my mind
wants
and
to
body
do
right.
tomorrow on our live stream the 999 challenge.
I've just been
9 dogs, 9 beers in 9 innings.
I've been so good lately. I feel like that's gonna hit my body like a shockwave.
Well, the other thing is, I can drive you home if you need 9 beers. You can't be driving home.
Yeah, absolutely not. I have to Uber.
Bring an air mattress and you can just sleep in the studio.
Honestly, I might as well.
I mean, I've done it. We've all done it.
I've considered it.
I've done it many times.
I've almost done it
yeah.
before.
Oh, yeah. So we are going to live stream tomorrow. The question is, how about 9 pops?
Oh, hell no. I'm
no,
not
that's a lot of sugar. You'd rather do 9 beers
I'd rather
almost.
do 9
yeah.
beers, 100%.
So we're going to do that tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a lot of fun. You'll be betting along
Where
with
do I
us.
get the hot dogs is a thing?
What do you mean?
Like, do we have a grill? Like, well, how am I just going to have 9 hot dogs? You know what I mean?
I could get you a grill.
I think we might have one, actually.
Yeah, but can you do it inside?
Well, I can just go right out by the patio.
Oh, can we? Okay. I was going to say, at worst, we could just, like, boil you some hot dogs and bring them in. You seen those videos of those guys on the golf course? They put all their hot dogs, like, in a thermos, and then they just get them out. I'm not against a boiled dog. Nothing better than a grilled dog. Yeah. There's nothing like a roller dog. A roller dog is the supreme hot dog.
I might do 9. If I do it, I think I might do 9 dogs without the buns.
That's cheating. That doesn't count.
Cheating? I don't want the carbs.
It's not the 9-9 challenge of without the buns.
I don't want the carbs.
Okay, if you're going to, I would just tell you don't do it then. If you're not going to, again, I'm not forcing you to drink on this thing. If you want to do it. So we're doing a live stream tomorrow for the game. And we were going back and forth about what we're going to do and how much fun, whatever. And Ryan said, I've always wanted to do the 9-9 challenge. And it came up.
Should I do 9 4 Locos?
You don't know the original 4 Locos.
You'd be driving me to the hospital.
You don't know the original 4
Yes,
Locos.
I do.
I survived.
Well,
no.
I know the original, but then
the original,
yeah, they were killing
people. I lived through that. They never tasted good. I guess you could say that about a lot of things. When you were a 21-year-old kid.
When you were 17 in somebody's basement.
Each your own, whatever, that's fine. But yeah, the original 4 Locos, we'd be getting your stomach pumped over
ones?
there. Well, see, I always got, the yellow ones, like the lemon one. There was not a good one to be had. I tell you, that was not really my thing. I don't want to admit what I went through in college. I went through a bad Bud Light Lime phase, Ryan, where all I drank was Bud Light Lime.
I think Bud Light
It was
Lime's
delicious.
good, yeah.
It was very good. And I don't regret that time. It was a good time. It was a dark time. It was a good time, but we're through it. We came out the other side. So tomorrow we're on 1 to 3. We're going to be live during the game. It's going to be exciting. We still got a game tonight. We'll get to our boost coming up with the guards. So much of that game speaks to what this Guardians team is. Are they the most talented team? Not necessarily. Are they the highest payroll team? No. Reflog sent that out this morning. Of 40 win teams, man, there are 3. Us, the Phillies, and the Yankees. Yankees payroll, 305. Phillies payroll, 245. Guardians, like 120 something or 117. And then somebody tweeted back at Reflog and said, and you got to remember, $17 million of that is tied up in guys that aren't even here. Laureano, Florial, Strauss down in minor league, Segura, there's money that's not even on this payroll. And that gets me into the take that I'm going to get to today. Tristan McKenzie. Let's have that conversation.
Everything we talked about yesterday is now even more so exemplified after you saw what McKenzie did. For him to have a very, very poor 3-4 innings, or I think it was 5 1/3.
But
that exemplifies,
like
and we
a man
still
on
won the game.
fire.
That exemplifies. Imagine if you don't put yourself in that situation.
Right. Here's the thing on McKenzie. I like Tristan McKenzie. I want him to be a top-end rotation guy. Like, I believe that he can. I now focus on the team. And I can't have this being dragging us down anymore. And it's not as simple as you snap your fingers and you go out and you get this guy or you go make this trade. But, like, and I'm just going to say this, too. Gavin Williams isn't exactly lighting it up on his rehab starts either. And I know he's working on things. You know, he's added a cutter, by the way. There were some graphs that I saw yesterday of some of his rehab starts, and they go, they're misclassifying his four-seamer as he has now added a cutter. Okay, great. I love, that's one of the new things in a lot of pitchers. When your fastball's not there, they move to these cutters. They move to the sinkers. There's just so much movement in baseball, which, by the way, is why you have so many Tommy John injuries now. Bob Feller didn't throw anything but straight gas. That's why he never tore his UCL, right? Now it's all the twerk in and all the, snap in and all that other kind of stuff that you're trying to do. And then I also come back to McKenzie's elbow, right? That story just seemed to have disappeared. When the season started, everybody's like, wait a minute, does he need Tommy John or not? Is he still, and people I think are forgetting that he is still dealing with some sort of issue with his elbow. I don't know what it is. Clearly it's not that big of a deal for him to keep pitching. We'll figure it out from there. But I also look at it and I say, I hate saying this because I like Tristan McKenzie. I can't have this anymore. I can't. And you are too far into the season to not fix your issues. And you want to say that he's going to come back around, and he continues this streak that I don't like, but it's a streak that he's on. Even when he pitches bad, they still win. What is it now? His last 7 starts, he only has 1 loss, and the team obviously lost that game. The other 6, they've all won, even when he's pitched poorly. Gave up those 3 solo jacks against the Rockies a couple games ago. Had a bad night last night, and the Guardians still come on back. Now, the other side, you mentioned about what it could be if you didn't have to do that. I'd imagine these guys show up at the ballpark going, when McKenzie's on the hill going, we're going to have to show up tonight. Going to have to show up tonight. And maybe that helps them get in the right mindset to say we're going to have to put up some runs. And the same thing, Logan Allen tonight, right?
No. Oh, you didn't see the news?
No.
You know who's starting?
No.
Nick Sandlin.
Oh, bullpen game.
Yep.
No, I didn't see that.
Logan
what happened?
Allen was scheduled, and he got scratched.
Oh, great.
Last night.
I did not. When did that happen?
Mandy Bell was on it.
Okay, shout out to Mandy.
Nick Sandlin starting today. It was supposed to be Allen.
Yeah,
I don't know if their plan is to go. Well, then I don't know. It's a bullpen game.
It's going to have to be a bullpen game. Oh man. I mean, the good news is you didn't have to waste your bullpen last night. By the way, just got to shout them out again, man. Was that 3 2/3 inning of 1-hit baseball?
Cade Smith's on another planet.
Cade Smith is insane. Tell me Scott Barlow didn't feel really damn good sticking it to his old team. He got that last strikeout. You could tell the hair was on fire. He was all jacked up. You know who Scott Barlow looks like? Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
No, I didn't.
The Grizzle guys? Oh my God. He's an actor. He's always with that, oh my God. Stand by. It's going to annoy me. Not him.
You're talking about? Oh, I've never seen Parks and Rec. So I don't know if he's in.
But it's like they're two. They had a show. You ever see the one where Mike and Dave need wedding dates or whatever? Who's the actor from that?
Adam Devine?
Adam Devine, yes. His friend.
Yeah, you're talking about from Workaholics.
Yeah. He's
Blake.
got the hair. Blake, that guy.
Yeah,
does he look like Scott Barlow?
That's so funny.
Every time I see him, I think
no,
that.
you're 100% spot on.
Can you pull a picture up from him?
Yeah,
pull a picture up of Scott Barlow. I think people know Scott Barlow. Pull a picture up of that actor for everybody.
You're 100% right because I didn't know who you were referring to, and I just looked up
You
Scott
looked
Barlow,
at him and you go, that's it.
He was the first one that I thought. I was like, okay, if he looks like a celebrity, then that's who you're talking about.
Yes, the guy. Yes, 100%. The guy from Workaholics with the hair.
Blake
Anderson.
Yeah.
Pull up a picture of him for the people, please.
Oh, a Blake Anderson?
Yeah. I think everybody knows. Well, if you have a Scott Barlow picture, just pull that up for the people.
Well, here's Scott Barlow.
That's Scott Barlow. Now Google Blake Anderson. Same guy.
Yeah, they do look
the same guy.
They do look like.
Every time I see him, and I think it's because their hair goes out, and then, granted, Scott Barlow's got a hat on. Every time I see him, I think he looks like
100%,
that guy. Right?
As soon as I saw him, and I thought of an actor, that looks like him.
No, and I think that, again, that bullpen, and I've been critical of Barlow here, but you're right. Cade Smith is untouchable. Emmanuel Clase, even with a walk, which you would nibble in a little bit, and that home plate umpire, Witt was getting pissed at him and all that kind of stuff, still struck out 2. He gets out of that, his 19th save of the year, and the Guardians get that win. I don't want to sit here and say that was the best win of the year because it's so victim of the moment. You're all in this. You're excited about it.
But I think it was. Like, what else?
It was one of my favorite wins of the year.
I mean, you're playing a divisional game where you're 4 games ahead. You're looking to expand it, and then not only do you win, you come back, you score 8 unanswered.
I thought about this question, and I will leave it to you if you want to post this, because here we are on June 5th. The Guardians have a 5-game lead. Do you think they're gonna go not wire to wire, but do you think the Guardians will ever fall out of first place the rest of the year? Do you think that they're going to keep the lead in the AL Central the rest of the season?
I think it's very plausible. If I was a betting man,
I'd put that out.
Probably say
see what the people say.
It all depends.
The rest of the year, do you think that they stay there?
It comes down to do they meet a slump? Do they falter post All-Star? But right now, I mean, especially if you go ahead and sweep this out, I mean, it's right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and again, you've now built a lead on the Twins. Of course, the Tigers eventually were going to fade. I'm not believing in any of these teams. I really am not. Like, and I watch the Royals, and I know they're really good, but, like, there's holes in their lineup. There's holes in their team, certainly. I'll be interested to see what people say. Are you confident enough that you believe the Guardians are going to stay in the lead of the AL Central the rest of the way? Ryan, that's 3 more months of baseball. That's 3 more months of baseball. Well, really 4. 4. You got to get all the way to October. You think they're going to keep this lead the rest of the way out? Obviously, the odds have done nothing but increased on them winning the Central, them going to the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. And I tweeted this out the other day. Just some updated odds from BetOnline, because they had them as well, about where you're at with the Guardians. So coming in, and this is before last night, by the way, they have the 8th best odds to win the World Series at 20-1. 5th best odds to win the AL pennant. They are the favorite at -120 to win the Central. Jose Ramirez had the 6th best odds for MVP, and for some reason, they didn't put Emmanuel Clase on for the Cy Young, which, you know, that's fine. I think it's, we went back and talk about relievers that have won. You got to go back to Eric Gagne to do that. So you're a little off, but still, do you think they're going to stay in first place the rest of the way out? The job that Stephen Vogt has done too, where that lineup yesterday was a very interesting one, right? Fry catching up in the lineup. Sheeman short, couple of nice plays from him defensively.
And then you had Fry. Or did you say Fry?
Yeah, Fry's up at catcher. Yeah. You had Sheeman, and then Manzardo DH, did he not? Yeah. Right?
Yes.
He DH.
Yes.
Excuse me, because you had Freeman and Brennan in the outfield. You had Naylor at first.
I was confused for that because it was Rocchio who came in.
Rocchio came in later for the defensive side of things to finish that game on out. I like that lineup. I like that little tinkering right there. And I know it's not all so much about the manager making the lineup anymore. There's a lot of, they get a little sheet from the analytics people, and they say, we think this is the best lineup you could put out there today. And sometimes they agree with it. Sometimes they change some things. But I really thought that was a little twist, a little interesting lineup there from the Guards last night.
Yeah, I mean, for one, it shows, I think he changed the lineup, and then now you're going into this as a bullpen game. I think Stephen Vogt's really going all in to say, hey, let's go sweep these Royals and let's get a commanding lead.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You felt like that game, it felt bigger, right? That felt like a game that you show up and you pretend and act like it was a playoff game. That's tough to do in June, but you still did it. Then I can't get over the Bobby Witt play. So what led to the David Fry, as I've said, the inevitability that is David Fry, he forgot how many outs there were. And it almost was like he was going to second base, realized, I don't need this, I'm just going to throw it to first, and then got in between. Didn't even touch the bag, and then threw me away. Scored the runs, moved him on over. That is the kind of pressure that I'm talking about. And I know Bobby Witt went to bed last night playing that over and over and over and over and over again in his head. Now, he's a damn good player. I'm not saying that he's not. But that's when I talk about the suffocation that I feel like this Guardians team brings and what they do. Where I have so much joy to say this. We have now become a team that you have to play perfect when you play us. Because the littlest mistakes, we're going to pounce on that. We're going to take advantage of your mistakes. Now, the interesting thing about yesterday, the Guardians have been one of the best teams hitting with runners in scoring position, and they didn't even do that yesterday. I think they were 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position yesterday. I know. We won, doesn't matter. Jimenez and Ramirez striking out with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often. That does not happen very often. So you got the win, but that was a moment that you look at and you go, that could have been a big change, a little momentum shift there for the Guards. But they got through it, and they got the win. So there's so many things that they just do that I love how they play, man. It's a lot of fun. And again, that ballpark, it wasn't full by any stretch of the imagination. That's pretty good for a Tuesday night. And they're back at it tonight, and I want to keep saying, Guardians, no fees on their tickets for this series. So you want to go, you're looking for a good excuse to go, 6:40, kids are out of school, get them on down there. I'd love to, man, but our kid's bedtime's 7:30. My wife would not let that slide.
It's mine too.
7:30 bedtime. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Get to bed early. You get here early, so that's how it goes. So great stuff on the Guards. Our Twitter question is up at Matt Fontana Show. Do you think they're going to keep hold of this AL Central lead the rest of the way out? Right, I'm voting yeah, man. I'm all jacked up right now. And I do think there's this little element about seeing the Royals for the first time. Did you look at them and say this team's a real threat?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how you couldn't.
Okay.
I mean, you have the AL runner, or Cy Young runner, and Seth Lugo. And then you have Bobby Witt, who's arguably a top 5 player in baseball right now. He's very good. And then, I don't know. I don't see how they couldn't. I thought they played well. To be honest with you, they should have won that game. They gave it away.
Oh, yeah, they did. And that's, again, we're not sitting here saying that they shouldn't have or whatever. Like, you have to take advantage of those mistakes, and they did that. But, yeah, I mean, that's where I look at with the Royals. And I'm still sleeping on the Twins, and I think I will continue to do that.
Yeah, I'm snoring.
Well, you got to watch about what these teams do. As much as I'm sitting here talking about the Guardians making a move, don't forget, the Royals are going to make some move, and so will the Twins. So you got to keep an eye out of what they're going to do. Now, the difference is the Royals do not need starting pitching, because that's another thing. If you start having to compete with these guys over some trades, then that really starts to get, I don't like that, because then the prices are going to go up, and you feel like you're in a race with the two teams you're against in the division to go trade for this guy, so they don't. Royals don't need a starting pitcher. Twins, I think everybody just keeps saying if they get healthy, right? If they just get some of these guys back off the injured list, they might be all right. But it's there for the taking. It is there for the taking. You have built yourself a nice little lead here. You get back after it tonight. I cannot wait for our boost. You got to tell me as soon as the boost gets up. You got to tell me, because I'm excited for our boost tonight. We'll get to that coming up when you talk about the Guardians and the Royals. Flip it over to basketball. Cavs who was the guy that came out yesterday? Cavs coaching interviews. They've added another, because I believe now it's at 7, right? So we know Mike and Nora. We talked about that. David Adelman. That's it, because I sent the tweet and I go, oh, another coach's kid. That's where it's at. Doing their due diligence. Okay, fine. I think it's interesting that you look at and you say you got a lot of guys that are on some of the top teams. You have Denver assistant David Adelman. You have a Timberwolves assistant there in Mike and Nori. Borrego's always named, Atkinson, fine. I think it's as they continue to cast this wide net, which is always just so funny of one of the words that you hear when it comes to coaching interviews. They're going through, but just don't forget, too, these could be for assistant jobs, where do they want to stay, where do they want to go, and they're kind of Dyson throats. So I say Adelman's added to the list. I don't know how strong of a candidate he is. Do you feel like, Ryan, as further this goes on, that we are going to catch something out of left field, or you still feel like it's Atkinson, Borrego, one of the favorites in this whole thing?
Matt, I really have no idea.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it could come down to as simple as who's got the best relationship with Donovan Mitchell. At the end of the day.
That'd be Johnny Bryant then. That'd be Johnny Bryant.
So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Would you consider that a surprise then for him? I would a little bit. I think Atkinson.
I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I don't know enough about the coaches.
That's fair enough. I mean, that's the thing too. We don't know. It's on Kobe Altman to see about what offense these guys run. They figure it all out. But they had yet another one, so we'll see and keep our eye on that. The big news out of the NBA is from LeBron James. So LeBron sat down with his future head coach.
No, he's leaving.
No, they're hiring Redick.
No, I know.
Oh, I know, but you still think LeBron's leaving? I don't know, man. If they get Redick who he wants. And his Mind the Game podcast, we're going to play the clip. And I just want to preface this by saying there are swear words in this. LeBron swore, cover the ears of the kids. I apologize. We couldn't edit it quick enough, but it is what it is.
How many kids do you really think are listening to this?
Charles did the other day say I dropped an F-bomb, and he goes, I had to cover my daughter's ears. There's kids out of school, Ryan. You got to remember that. School is out now, and maybe they're listening. I don't know.
All right.
So here's LeBron, pardon the F-bombs, on the Mind the Game podcast, talking about Kyrie Irving. Here it is.
Listen, I will call Kyrie the wizard all the time. Like, all the time. Like, there was nothing on the basketball floor that Kyrie couldn't do. And sitting here watching it, you know, I'm playing like so fucking happy and so proud and to watch him and continue his growth and whatever the case may be. And at the same time, I'm so fucking mad at the same time that I am not his running mate anymore. So I'm like, I just remember those times. And to back to what you were saying, JJ, like to have a guy like Kyrie Irving as the ultimate wild card, that's like having it's like having a draw four in your hand every time someone deals you cards in Uno.
I like the Uno reference, and by the way, is that not tampering? Players can tamper with players, though. It's just teams. But to hear that from LeBron, Mind the Game podcast with JJ Redick there, and it takes me back to those times. And it takes me back to what the dream was that we had with the Cavs and watching those two play alongside one another. And you realize that I think as this finals has gone on, which why we have to wait yet another day to try to get to an NBA Finals game. As it's gone on, I've always been at peace with how things went. You won a championship. It was the sweetest championship that you could have won. And you realize that it was probably never meant for the long, right? We all wanted the fairy tale of those guys finishing their careers out. How many players do you really look around and say they finished their career out team? Like,
I don't know.
You know, not in today's day. There's a day that Giannis is not going to be in Milwaukee. Mark my words on that.
The real last one of this generation that I truly thought had a chance was Dame.
Dame Lillard. I thought so, too.
And then maybe Nikola.
Potentially, yeah.
It's too early to say Luka.
But the thing about Jokic is he's cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? Where he just wants to play basketball and go to his racehorses.
They give him an extra horse. He'll sign a
He'll be
lifetime
fine.
contract.
He loves it, right? So that's a little bit different. And I think it's certainly, we got to go back 7 years ago to remember what that NBA was like. And that was everybody leaving and everybody flipping teams. And what happened between LeBron and Kyrie, I would imagine to a man, they would both sit here today and say, you know what, maybe we made some mistakes. I don't know what those mistakes were. I don't know what their interpersonal relationship was. But I think just watching Kyrie with so many people that have discussed about his maturity and how much he's changed over the last couple of years, and I probably even have to say LeBron and what he's grown and become and learned over. Now, again, they're both grown-ass men. They were grown-ass men when they were here. But what I'm saying is just things change. People change, right? And I think it's interesting to see LeBron be in a point I didn't know if I'd ever be where he wishes he was back there. Like, that was him reminiscing of wishing he was back here in Cleveland. Of course. And this, again, I come from a standpoint of I never thought he's coming back. I still don't think he's coming back. But I think that tells you a little bit of maybe how bad things are with the Lakers. And where that's a shot. That's a straight up shot across the bow at the Lakers, where he's basically crying out that I don't want to be here anymore. This is not the situation that I envisioned it to be. My heart yearns to be back over here, back with him. And I thought about the question of does that change anything for you about how you view those times with Kyrie and LeBron? And I think two things. Number one, it was so long ago. It's hard to go back and change how you feel. And number two, I just think it was inevitable that they were going to break up. They were going to leave. LeBron was going to go to LA at all time, and Kyrie was going to move on somewhere else. I always felt that. But to hear him say that kind of stuff, it actually makes me remember it. I can't, the word I'm struggling for is it makes me even happier about those times. You know what I mean? To hear LeBron basically say that we know how good Kyrie was, but it's making me add even more to their time here and think about it. But it's interesting this coming out now. And it's probably a little bit of, I don't want to say jealousy, but it's a little bit of envy of watching where Kyrie is at, LeBron knowing where he's at, and just saying, yeah, I had a great time there. That's the guy that I miss. And it's not even necessarily Cleveland. It's just maybe his time with Kyrie Irving. And I thought about a little bit of this was an extension of the olive branch to Kyrie. Because remember, and by the way, it's actually ironic that this happened 1 year ago today. I'll get it to Time Hop. That Kyrie wanted the Dallas Mavericks to go get LeBron. Kyrie was asking the Mavericks to go trade for LeBron James. So it's very clear that they've mended those fences. Does that bother you they couldn't mend them here? Or do you sit there like I do and say, it just was never going to happen? With where they were at, with the situations they were in, it was never going to happen. I guess the soft spot in my heart, get sappy for a minute, I'm glad that they're friends again. I'm glad that this came back around, you know? I didn't want this to be somewhere they hated each other forever. And it just gives you a little bit of more, like, you know, fond memories of everything that happened. I'm glad they're back on, I don't want to say speaking terms, but, like, that's about as good as you can get from LeBron. And also, I thought about that. Is that not some of the highest praise that you've ever heard LeBron give anybody?
I mean, he called him the most gifted player.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't hear that often from LeBron. And he's thrown flowers at Anthony Davis. He's thrown flowers at Chris Bosh before. But those are heavy comments coming from LeBron, who is the greatest basketball player of all time. To say that about Kyrie Irving, that was something that I was like, all right. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was great to hear from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not reading too much into it, but it's not like he's saying, oh, I miss playing with Tristan Thompson, or, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, Kyrie, maybe Anthony Davis, is the best teammate I think LeBron's ever had, maybe D-Wade. I'd say those three, hands down.
Right.
And then also, obviously, Kyrie's in the news cycle because he's going to the finals. LeBron wants those clicks for the podcast, maybe, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, at the time in 20,
think about that, and I really should have in today's day and age.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's all about clicks. But anyway, I mean, yeah, but of course, I mean, they're older. Kyrie was such a young kid when he was here. Leaves Cleveland, goes through probably a really bad situation in Boston, not so great in Brooklyn, and finally finds, I feel like it seems like a place he likes to play and matches up well with, and Luka in Dallas, and he's having success.
I mean, the thing is, LeBron's perfect complement is Kyrie Irving. Not just a point guard, his perfect complement is Kyrie Irving. And I think some of that stuff, you can't understand that until you don't have it, right? You don't understand that what your perfect complement was at until you don't have it anymore. And what is the one thing the Lakers are void of right now? Good guard play. They don't have that. And I just think it's also a little element of LeBron being in the twilight of his career and being near the end, and you reminisce. You look back on it. And you think about things and what you had and what you did, and, you know, how it all played out. You're not wrong on the click, so I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Actually, a really, really good point.
I'm telling you, dude. It's the first thing I thought.
Can they keep doing the podcast if JJ Redick gets that? No, I say if. When JJ Redick gets that job, can they keep doing that podcast? I tell him to shut it down. Like, that's a bad idea, man.
I mean, they'll probably tell him not to, but I think legally, yeah.
I'm sure, but like, you slip and say something, you talk about a strategy.
No, I wouldn't want my head coach on a podcast.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think any team. Could you imagine Pop? Could you imagine Greg Popovich on a podcast? I'd listen to that.
I mean,
all
I would
day.
imagine the Lakers front office is like, hey, JJ, we want you as a coach, but like, you're cutting the media time.
Well, the other side of it is that could be a great moneymaker for them. And that could be something like, do you think they would sit down and say, this is a non-negotiable thing? Where JJ goes, I'm giving up all my other media, which I understand, but I want to keep doing this podcast with Bron. And the other thing, it's not live, correct?
Probably not. No way.
So then they could tape these and go,
yeah, true.
Cut that out. Don't put that in. All that other kind of stuff. I just wondered about that because it is, I mean, the reports are they're zeroing in on JJ Redick. It's always going to be JJ Redick. And that's good for the Cavs. You want that to be status quo over there. Get him hired, and then you have the pick of the litter from everybody else that's ready to go. I was never in on Redick. Like, I just think that's such a swing on a guy that's never done it before. Now, I'm not talking about like never really even been on a sideline before as a coach. And there are a lot of players, and certainly in baseball and basketball, you see a lot of players that become, and football even more so as we go on here. You're seeing more coaches that are former players. It's a big swing or miss there with JJ Redick.
I wonder if this, I just kind of thought of this. I wonder if the Lakers hiring JJ Redick in their back of their mind, a big part of that is because they're assuming and think that LeBron's coming back, and maybe it won't be a full. Like, he'll have LeBron.
I mean, is that any different? I mean, there's more. The stakes are higher for LeBron versus Donovan Mitchell because it's the same thing that we're dealing with here, right? And there's reports out there, the sky is blue. They're going to hire a coach before they offer their contract extension to Donovan Mitchell, talking about the Cavs, right? Of course you would. But LeBron is a straight-up free agent. If he chooses, he will be. He's going to decline that player option and re-sign. So there's an inherent pressure on the Lakers. Now, what I've said about the Cavs hire is you listen to Donovan Mitchell and go ahead and make that hire, because even if he leaves, I still think that's a really okay hire. You know what I mean? Like, you're in a different spot than the Lakers. The Lakers hire a guy for LeBron and he leaves, that's a different ball of wax. You get what I'm saying there? Like, they're going to fire that guy in 3 months. He'll be out of there because it's L.A. Cleveland, I think, could make it work with multiple coaches. And that's one thing I do want to say about the coaching search. Don't ever get trapped into that there really is only one guy for this job. You can win with multiple different. It's like a draft pick too, right? You think like, we got to take this quarterback. No, you could work with different types of quarterbacks. It's the same thing with a head coach. I think you could work with any of these guys. I don't know much about, I always want to say Rick Adelman, David Adelman, whatever his name is. So you could work with him. I could work with, here's the, I will talk myself into Atkinson. I'll talk myself into Mike Inori. I'll talk myself into James Borrego. I just got to believe in Kobe Altman. So it doesn't have to be the one guy. Now, if that one guy also then helps you with Donovan Mitchell, go make that hire. Do it. Because I want Donovan back. You ain't going anywhere without him. So you might as well try to make that move. They get it done. Want to flip over to some football. This morning on NFL.com, the 7 teams that significantly helped their quarterback this offseason and a few that didn't were the Browns on that list. We'll get to that in a second.
They certainly couldn't be on.
They didn't help Deshaun Watson?
They certainly can't be on that.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Because the more important question...
But I'm not ready to say they're 100% going to be on the list.
Okay.
Did.
Because we have a more important question that came from the Minnesota Vikings. Would you rather never eat a hot meal again in your life or never have a cold drink again in your life?
Oh, that's
so easy. Think about it easy.
That's easy.
You can never have a hot meal.
That's easy.
In your life again, or you can never have a cold drink again in your life. You say this is an easy answer. What's your answer?
That's so easy. I would rather never have a cold drink.
What? What?
Oh, 100%.
The answer is I would never have a hot meal again.
No, I could just drink water the rest of my life. Lukewarm water.
Lukewarm water? A lukewarm beer?
First of all, lukewarm water hydrates you more than cold water does. So first of all, that's the biggest factor in this. The most important part.
Go ahead.
The most important part, and I'm fine drinking lukewarm beer.
You like warm Gatorade?
What am I gonna eat? Sandwiches for the rest of my life?
Jack and Coke, lukewarm.
You realize then you're not eating chicken, you're not eating steak warm, you're not eating any meat warm.
Find me.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
On the hot meal thing, I can only think of a few foods that aren't good cold. French fries are one. I'll eat cold chicken.
Sure, you will, but I'd prefer it to be warm.
Cold pizza's not bad. Cold wings aren't bad. The wings are the one thing I'm like, there's nothing like a hot plate of wings. I'll eat cold wings.
I could drink lukewarm water the rest of my life.
Oh, my God. No, but I'm saying, think about the other beverages. A crisp, ice-cold pop.
I got coffee and water. That's all I need.
See, I like iced coffee. I could never have an iced coffee again.
I don't want to. You know how I feel about it.
Oh, shout out to Donut Pantry today, man. Woo! Stop. It's our son.
When you go out to eat and you order a hot meal, you're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, don't cook it.
Cold pasta?
Don't warm it up. No.
To get a salad?
No.
A nice little chicken Caesar salad? I'll have a lot of those. A wrap? I don't need a hot wrap. It can be cold.
You're tripping.
Oh, I thought easily this answer is to never have a hot meal again.
No.
So again, the question is, if you could never eat a hot meal
from mom that's nice and warm right out of the oven.
The favorite thing, my mom, and I'm upset if I'm somehow on death row, and I hope to never be there, and they're like,
what about
stroganoff? My mom makes the best beef stroganoff, and I would eat it cold. I've eaten it cold before. It's fine.
You're gonna cook something frozen, and then let it just cool down till you eat it.
Well, now you're getting into the nuance of cooking. I would just eat it cold. That's fine.
Ew.
Cold pizza rolls. I used to eat those as a kid all the time anyway.
That's fine, but you're not eating pizza rolls.
That was the best. And I used to argue with people. I used to put pizza rolls in the microwave. And people would call me insane because you got to put them in the oven.
You do, but when you're really hungry.
So the best thing about putting them in the microwave was, and we had these big dinner plates, man. And my parents, 5 boys, me and my 4 brothers. There were a lot of bean burritos in that house. There was a lot of pizza roll. And my poor mother, no matter what she would make for dinner, she knew 2 people weren't going to eat in that household. She could make, and she made great dinners. I just, well done, Mom. And no matter what that poor lady made, there's always 2 people that she. So again, and eventually as we got older, it got to the point where she would go, then you're going to have to make something for yourself. But always, for some reason, 2 of my brothers got away with my mom making them dinner, but that's all right. I'm not going to name names here. So pizza rolls, I would put on this giant honking dinner plate. Yeah. And the best thing about the microwave was the outer rim was scorched earth lava, but the inside were still a little cold. So you could start eating at the inside, and by the time you got to the outside, burning lava, which are the best pizza rolls, they were a little cool and they wouldn't nuke your mouth.
You'd get so sick of only cold food so fast. This should have been our 2 for Tuesday.
Well, we're stealing it from the Vikings. My buddy texted me this morning in our group chat. Well, yeah, you want to know some of the responses in the group chat? Here, I'm going to the group chat here.
Because already, like, in the comments, like, John Wick is saying I'm crazy, but Charles is saying
John Wick's the one that's
but Charles is saying you're crazy and I'm right. So clearly this is a dividing question.
So everything lukewarm like a warm drink or a very cold meal, and we were debating that.
You're tripping on that one.
Yeah. All right, I hear my buddy Caleb. He goes, a hot meal is great, but a cold meal is fine. A hot warm drink sounds like the worst. If I'm a warm drink, that sounds like the worst thing. Like, I'm talking about a warm beer. That sounds disgusting.
But I'm saying it doesn't have to be. It could be lukewarm. Like, it doesn't have to be hot.
No, but still, again, good. You come in you're outside working all day, and you come in, you're like, man, nope. You get a warm Gatorade. You get a warm red Gatorade. Ugh.
You get a lukewarm. It doesn't have to be. I'm assuming it doesn't have to be like hot, like it's sat in the sun.
What about and just talking about the alcoholic side of things? What about some of your Jack and Cokes, your mixed drinks? There, you could never have.
I could take it neat.
Margarita.
I could take it neat.
You never get a margarita again.
That's fine.
You never get a daiquiri again.
That's fine.
You go down to Cancun.
That's fine.
No electric lemonades, buddy.
That's fine.
No Miami Vice for you.
That's fine. I get hot, warm food. I'd rather have that.
Could you imagine sitting on a beach and going, man, I can't wait to drink this lukewarm beer over here?
Could you imagine having to eat steak, chicken, pizza, anything
steak
cold
is not that bad.
For the rest of your life, you can never have a warm steak. You're
okay, here's
a baked potato, a warm baked potato.
Yeah, see, potatoes are like, okay, that is the one thing. You can never have good French fries again. Ooh. French fries, even reheated, are just trash. You need French fries. Oh, my God. I never thought about mozzarella sticks.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about all the appetizer. Mozz sticks, fried pickles, fried zucchini.
You're not eating wings cold. You're not.
No, I've eaten wings cold all the time.
Sure, but if you have the
They're fine.
No,
oh, yeah. I mean, there's nothing like a crisp, and especially crisp, warm wings are where it's at.
But you could never go to a restaurant and order a hot meal.
So the Vikings asked this of their team. So this was one of the questions, this is one of the trends in social media where they get the players walking out on the field. They had 31 of their players vote. It was 23-8. They're on your side. They would never have a cold drink again.
Of course.
I don't think so,
Of course. And these are athletes who need water.
Yeah, and again, they get a nice cold Gatorade. I just, the way, and again, I think so much of just like chocolate milk. Milkshake. Can never have that again.
Fine. I'll be healthier for it.
I mean, yeah, it's not true. Or that's not true. You're right. I'm just thinking of a food.
I got lukewarm water right here.
I'm thinking, and I got a nice ice cold coffee over here, which is just delicious. I'm really trying to grasp.
So you can
the food, the hot food that I would say I can't live without. I can't come up with one. I'll eat steak cold. I'll eat wings. The French fries are the only thing I can think of.
I see your point.
The only thing.
It's just what you value more.
Right.
Personally.
Right. And like pasta, you can eat cold pasta. I've eaten cold lasagna before. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can eat it, but it's certainly not as good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, again, like a prime rib, a steak.
A warm piece of apple pie. Come on.
Yeah, I don't ever heat up the apple pie. A cold apple pie is good, too. Cold pie is delicious. Whipped cream on that? I'm interested to see. We're stealing that from the Vikings. I like it. I thought that was a really interesting question.
I mean, yeah, that is a good question.
You can never have
clearly
a hot meal or a cold drink again. Which one would you rather have? You can never have a hot. I'm saying I would never have a hot meal again. Ryan said he'd give up cold drinks for the rest of his life.
Facts, Angelo. So he says, Matt, you're good with a cold burger the rest of your life. That's facts. I've
eaten a lot of cold burgers, sure.
Come on.
And again, it's like, yes, you would prefer it hot off the griddle.
Charles, that's my exact point. He says you'd get so sick of cold food all the time. You'd get so sick of it. But I would never get sick of lukewarm water. Never.
See, but again, there's going to be that time where a thirst, when you're just like, man, I could go for an ice cold.
And it would be better in the moment, but this hydrates you more than cold water does. Lukewarm does.
But I'm talking about the refreshingness.
Sure, I get it. No, I get your point. It's well taken.
And I understand where your point is. How often am I drinking margaritas? I don't go to Cancun every weekend to sit on a beach and sit there and drink cold beer. But I guess just when it hits, it hits. Yeah. And I will fully admit, and you and I differ on this, we start with iced versus hot coffee. Yeah. Ryan only drinks hot coffee. I much prefer iced coffee. So I don't like that, and probably with where I'm at in life of not sleeping a lot with kids, like I cannot. I wake up every morning. I go, I need my coffee. I need my iced coffee right now.
Imagine you get home from a day of work and your wife's like, Matt, I made you your favorite meal. You're like, oh, thanks. I'm just going to wait an hour till it gets cold.
Cold tacos? No. I get your point. I get 100% with where you're at. But I would give up hot meals.
Does this count? Like you could never put hot sauce on anything then?
No. I think it's temperature, not like what's the oh my god,
Scoville?
The Scoville. Yes. With the ghost peppers and all the hot pepper and stuff like that. No. We're talking about like the temperature of what you are cooking.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm trying to come to your side. I'm really trying to think about a meal that I would like.
For me,
that's
it's
the breaker.
Just the biggest thing is I could live with lukewarm water.
We got a lot of life
and even
to live,
beer,
man.
and I have my coffee, and then I couldn't fathom only eating cold the rest of my life. I'd get so sick of it.
I picture going to Red Lobster because they're
But imagine a nice warm pizza right out of the oven. That's never going in your mouth.
Do you want to know one of the best pizzas that I ever had in my life is on a beach in Cancun? So my uncle won a trip to go for his work, and he took me with him. So we're at one of those all-inclusive resorts, right? Bro, they had one of those pizza ovens built, and I didn't understand the first day. There was a line of people standing over by it. I was like, what are they doing? And they go, oh, they'll make you pizzas. It doesn't open until 11 o'clock, and people are lining up at 10:30. You get in line. All you do is point out the toppings. They make you like a little personal pan-sized pizza, but then they put it in that brick oven. They pull that bad boy out. Oh, my God. That was one of the best pizzas I ever had in my life. Now, I was getting served. Like, trust me, you needed to get some food at that point. But, man, that was a good pizza.
Do you eat eggs? Because I can imagine those cold.
I've eaten cold eggs before, sure.
But they're horrible.
I wouldn't say I eat a lot of eggs. I like eggs. But, yeah, cold doesn't really bother me. Can't have a bagel. Cold bagel. Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
I'm looking up the worst foods when they're cold.
The worst cold foods?
Like noodle soups.
I've had cold soup before. Yeah, there's cold soup. There's no real bother on that. Again, I would say meat, like prime rib, steak, that kind of stuff. You want it warm. Burgers, to Angela's point, a burger. I'll get you that. I'll listen to that. Cold hot dog.
Just all I eat is meat, so I couldn't imagine
Fair enough. All right, we started on the NFL talking about this from the Vikings yesterday when they asked if you could only pick one. And I'd love to hear more comments on the YouTube side or on Twitter. If you could only pick one, you could only have hot meals the rest of your life or cold drinks the rest of your life.
You're a hot dog guy. A cold hot dog, not it.
I've eaten cold hot dogs before. I've eaten cold dogs before. I'm not above that. That's all good. So we started this with the NFL. So Judy Batista from NFL.com. The 7 teams that significantly helped their quarterbacks this offseason and a few that didn't. So I will ask you, Ryan, do you believe that the Cleveland Browns deserve to be on this list of this offseason? They significantly helped Deshaun Watson. Now let's add up what they did for him this offseason. Number 1,
Jerry Jeudy.
That is correct. Number 2, Ken Dorsey.
Yeah,
if you believe that's an upgrade,
regardless, it's an attempt.
I would agree with that. So I would say that is number 2 on the list. That it? And that's fine if it is. I'm really trying to think about those were your two major things. You got Jerry Jeudy, who's a solid number 2 receiver, and you brought in a new offensive coordinator.
And you had a defiant number 1 in Amari Cooper.
And
that
wasn't
an issue.
The other stuff that is a detractor from that, you can't really blame on the Browns. It's not their fault that Nick Chubb got hurt, right? It's not their fault that the offensive line is banged up. So you talk about significantly helping their team. New OC and a new number 2 wide receiver. That's their help. Do they deserve to be on the list of the team that helped their quarterback the most this offseason? Let's run through it. Number 1, and I guess these are in no particular order from Judy, but we'll start. Number 1, the Baltimore Ravens. They drafted 2 offensive linemen and brought in Derrick Henry. Okay? Number 2, they deserve to be on this list. The Chicago Bears. Now, Caleb Williams is their quarterback. Yeah. Give me DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, and they drafted Roma Dunze. That is helping your quarterback out. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. Mostly because they signed Jared Goff to a deal.
Extended
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penny Sewell. Also got a deal this offseason. Number 3, the New York Jets.
Mike Williams
and drafted Malachi Corley.
And they added to their offensive line.
Got Tyron Smith, drafted Fashanu, and added Morgan Moses, and also a guard in John Sims. So they basically have redone everything on their offensive line. She also, but didn't put a write-up for Philadelphia. I guess you get Saquon Barkley. That's helping out Jalen Hurts. And signed A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Kansas City.
Xavier Worthy. I mean, Rashee Rice, that's nothing they can do.
The whole situation that they can do there. And then the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray got Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. With that, though, and the reason I bring up, she did not put the Browns.
And the Chiefs got Hollywood.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. So with that, do you think that the Browns, I guess when I read through the list, I understand they probably don't deserve to be on that.
Which isn't,
it's not an indictment. It's not an issue with it. But I'm just saying, like, when I think about how much we feel like the Browns have improved with Deshaun Watson, these other teams, they went out and did it. Now, the other interesting thing is Kansas City, playoff team. Philadelphia, playoff team. Detroit, playoff team. Ravens, playoff team. It's not like the same situation where the Browns were like, hey, we felt really good about what we did or what Joe Flacco did. We don't need to do any more. No, you had 4 teams on this list that said, good is not enough for us now. And even then, for the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, we're going to keep doing this over and over again. Now, the thing about the Chiefs is they do it a little bit differently than some other people. Here's my thing on the Chiefs. Have they not got into a position now everybody wants to go play there? I think there are 2 teams.
Well, of course.
49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's like saying, why would you want to go play with Braun?
Right. They will take less money to go there. Because I keep looking at them like, man, how do the Chiefs keep freaking doing this? And it's like, oh, yeah, anybody would sacrifice some money to go play with Patrick Mahomes. And also, yeah, it's a shot. And I don't mean this to be. What do they not do? Trade away draft picks. Now, you lucked out. You drafted Patrick Mahomes in probably what is the greatest draft pick in NFL history.
I mean, Tom Brady, but yeah.
Okay, sure. 1-2. I'll give you that. Yeah, 1,000%. That being said, though, you don't have, like, all they did was acquire picks, right? Yeah. Lesson to be learned, I think, for some of these other general managers. They keep making these picks. They keep turning them into some guys. And it also helps that, again, you got Patrick Mahomes that does it all. So those were the 7 teams that Judy said helped their quarterback in the offseason. Do you want the team? So, again, the Browns are not on this list. But let's go to some teams that maybe didn't help their quarterback.
I mean, I could tell you number 1 right now.
Oh, okay. She didn't know ordering, but I want to see if you get one here.
It has to be the Buffalo Bills.
They are on this list.
I mean, how could it not be?
The team is in a transition. No Stephon Diggs. No Gabe Davis. You got Jags of all Jags. And they drafted Keon Coleman, which is fine. Can I just real quick run you? You're going to laugh when I run through the Buffalo Bills depth chart at wide receiver.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. It rivals the Steelers.
Khalil Shakur, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Chase Claypool, and Mac Hollins. Andy Isabella and KJ Hamler. The Ham Man. Good luck, Josh.
A lot of Dalton
Best of luck
this year.
So they are very clearly on this list of a team that did not help their quarterback. The other one?
Probably Steelers.
No. Think about what's one of the biggest stories going around the NFL right now.
In terms of what?
The big story, which I think is just laughable. He didn't show up for mandatory minicamp. He didn't show up. He's not there.
The Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Isn't it, by the way, Mike McCarthy took a shot at Michael Parsons for not showing up for voluntary stuff, saying he's missing an opportunity. CeeDee Lamb doesn't show up, and he goes, yeah, it's part of the business. I respect it. What the hell is that? The hell is that from Mike McCarthy?
I think I'm not excusing.
He sucks, man. He's going to be out of there.
I'm not excusing McCarthy's doing that, but I believe maybe a part of it.
Sweating hard in your
Maybe a part of it was possibly because I think CD after this season is a free agent. But I think Micah has 2 more years.
Sure.
So maybe he's like, I can understand CD.
And you want to know what that is? That gets seen through by so many players. When you pick on the vulnerable, I'm not saying Micah Parsons is vulnerable, but when you got a head coach that acts like a Billy Badass to all the rookies and undrafted guys, but then a star player gives them some credit. Oh, yeah, you're right. That stuff gets seen through in 2 seconds. You go, you're weak, man. You're weak. Mike McCarthy's not good. He's never been.
Won a Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl, but that's neither here nor there. The write-up on the Cowboys not helping. Obviously, you don't have CeeDee Lamb signed back up, but also they've done nothing to help rebuild this offensive line. They've lost some pieces. They don't have Tyron Smith anymore. You still have Zach Martin, Connor Williams. I mean, they've had to redo that. Didn't Tyler Biadasz out of there too? Didn't he go somewhere else? Am I misremembering that? Tyler Biadasz plays for the Washington Commanders now. There you go. In a year that, let's call it for what it is too, Jerry doesn't want Dak there anymore anyway.
Yeah, it seems that way.
It doesn't. It like everything that you continue to see is that we're better off with somebody else. And if it's a little of the Kirk Cousins element of like, we got so far with you, it could go really bad, or we could flip this over and find something else. Go for it. But I think they're sick of Dak Prescott there. He's going to hit the open mark, man. He's going to get $50 million a year. That's just what's going to happen. The other 2 teams that she listed about just kind of in the middle of didn't help their team, the Atlanta Falcons, drafting Penix. You could have got Cousins something there, but what else does he need? Got Pitts.
You got Drake London.
You got Bijan. Could do a lot worse. And then the New York Giants. Dude, there is nothing on God's green earth that will help Daniel Jones, okay? There's nothing. And you made a mistake giving him that deal. You got Malik Neighbors, who apparently doesn't even want to be there, making fun of their uniforms and all that kind of stuff. Losing Saquon Barkley does Daniel Jones no favor. But again, I think there's just, you could move a mountain, and I don't think you're really going to help Daniel Jones on that list. So again, the 7 teams that help their quarterbacks: Cardinals, Chiefs, Eagles, Jets, the Lions, Bears, and Ravens. Teams that really were kind of in the middle, didn't help nor hurt: Atlanta and New York, and 2 teams that certainly didn't help their quarterback: Buffalo and Dallas. Anybody else? Yeah, anybody else?
I'm surprised they didn't include the Texans on they did help CJ Stroud.
Oh, yes. You get
brought
Stephon
in Joe
Diggs.
Mixon.
Yes.
You got Stephon Diggs.
Extended Nico Collins.
Yeah.
I think that deserved, I think they could deserve to be on that list, sure. Browns, they basically did 2 things. And there's an element of, yes, this team was so good last year, you expect to roll it over. You know where I'm at with Deshaun Watson. This is the prove-it year of all prove-it years. You don't need me to say that. You know that. I know that. He knows that. Stefanski knows that. Barry knows that. Everybody knows that. But also, it is built, right? You have some questions on the offensive line. You bolstered the receiving core. And we'll see what the running back room has, right? At the end of the day, you want to know what? I kind of like that. You want to know why? If I looked at an offense that had all pros left and right, and you start winning games, then the debate is it really Watson or is it really them? I, more than anything, need the answer. Is it Deshaun Watson? So I'd actually kind of take it being a little less. And again, David Njoku is very good. Amari Cooper, very good. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be very good. Offensive line, we'll see how it goes. I want to see Deshaun Watson in a vacuum. It's almost like I'd like to see him out there with a bunch of rookies to see if he can do something with it. It's like a test. It's like a giant test.
See if he's able to elevate players.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy to do this and to elevate? And injuries will probably happen at some point. And you're not like, again, primed and ticking and all this other kind of stuff. You're not humming with this offense per se. But I also look at it and I say it's going to fall back on Deshaun Watson, which I like. I'd like it that it's going to rest on him. I like it that this will all fall on the feet of Deshaun Watson because I'll get an answer one way or the other. So I thought that was an interesting list. Great stuff there from Judy. We appreciate it. All right, let's catch our first break of the morning. We come back. Ryan's got the morning update. Plenty to come with the guards. We'll get to that. And I've got more in baseball. I've got more with basketball. Time up, grid, a very close bracket. I haven't updated it yet. Where are we at? Best cereal. I haven't even voted on our Twitter question. My answer is yes. I think the Guardians are going to hold it. We'll get to that coming up. So Cinnamon Toast Crunch is running away with Group 2. Group 1, we have 3 within 2 percentage points of one another. Fruit Loops, which was my vote. You want to know some of the best post-cereal milk is Fruit Loops. You know the milk when you drink it after? People say Cocoa Puffs because it just turns it into chocolate milk. The milk that you get out of Fruit Loops, euphoric.
True.
Absolutely delicious. Reese's Puffs and Apple Jacks. Fruit Loops, Reese's Puffs, and Apple Jacks are all within 2 percentage points.
Apple Jacks is trash.
Apple Jacks is trash. Apple Jacks is trash. Reese's Puffs is off to a slightly. Cheerios getting smoked. Honey Nut Cheerios, that's a different debate. That's a different question. Old school regular Cheerios. Yeah. So vote on that at Matt Fontana Show, and please drop us a follow there if you can. Twitter, Facebook. We're up on YouTube. I would say Facebook, and that's not true, is it?
I mean, we have a Big Play Facebook, but it's one
Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Yeah.
I need to get back into that.
I mean, you have the Reels on Facebook, though.
Yeah, we do. Instagram, for our show individually, Matt Fontana Show. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Check it out there. And again, I want to remind everybody, we'll be live tomorrow 1 to 3. We're not going to do 9 to 11 show. We're going to do 1 to 3 for the game tomorrow. And we're going to be betting with our friends at Tipico. We are so damn close.
Bullshit.
I know, man. It is what it is. So we did our boost last night. Naylor home run, Guardians money line, and 2 bases for Jose Ramirez. He got a single and he walked. Reflog and everybody else found out a walk does not count as a total base. Neither does a steal.
Which is stupid.
Because your idea is I acquired that base. When you think about a total base, I acquired is a base on balls, is it not?
I think it should have counted. I think when Naylor hit the home run and Jose scored, it should count. Jose's rounding the bases.
No.
Yes.
Hey, man, It's baseball. So we missed our boost by that much last night. I'm not going to reveal our boost just yet. I want to get it up on Tipico. We'll get to it later in the show. But, folks, that's how we roll. Guardians game every night. We got NBA Finals back in it. We do for a little 2 for tomorrow. NBA Finals game 1, Guardians midday. Folks, Tipico is where it's at. You want to get that bankroll up? We'll help you out. New customers. You deposit $150, which is a big ask. I understand that. But with code Fontana150, you will have your $150 in there. But then you will also get 2 $75 protected bets. And you can build that bankroll, bet responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But then you're off to the races on the boost. You got golf. I got to make my golf picks this weekend on Tipico. I ran through a few yesterday. I kind of like, this is just for the Memorial. I still like Shane Lowry this weekend. The guy's been playing good golf. And is he not a past Memorial champion?
Couldn't tell you.
The Memorial. Jack's place down in Muirfield. And did you know, too, by the way, that that's a tournament that a lot of the top players said, we will go to that forever because it's Jack. It's Jack. Arnie, when his tournament was going on, and Jack's, they don't skip it. Tiger made it a point to never miss it. Winners, Hovland, Horschel, Cantlay, Rahm, Cantlay again, DeChambeau, Duffner back in 17. I kind of like Shane Lowry. So again, get on Tipico, get your bets going. Tiger won that tournament 5 times. Do you know that insane stat about Tiger? That if you just took his wins from, I think, Ohio with the Memorial and the Bridgestone, Florida, and I think California, he's still top 10 all-time in wins from just 4 states. That's insane. Memorials this weekend. And do what I do, folks. Do a couple of bucks. I bet no more than, no joke, $3 on any guy. And it's fun to watch the tournament. I always text my dad, and I go, Dad, who you like for this weekend? I do it for the NASCAR races. It's all there with Tipico. I love betting with them. They're the best. The interface is so easy. The boosts are great. The cashback, I hit it yesterday.
There you go.
On my parlays, little cashback reward action there. Tipico, code Fontana 150, and we'll get to our boost a little bit later in the show. All right, catch a break, update, grid, all coming your way. Stay with us. Fontana Show, right here on Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. And you saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
Let's jump onto it. Back quickly to our debate. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here. Big Play, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, live every morning. You can also follow us on Instagram. The debate that the Vikings brought up, would you rather only have cold drinks or hot meals the rest of your life? Pat might have shut this one down. Thanksgiving would be the biggest L with no warm food. Cold mashed potatoes, cold turkey,
gravy,
cold stuffing. Cold stuffing.
God, I love stuffing.
Stuffing is so good. Danny and I used to have this raging debate where he said stuffing is overrated. And I said, you wash your mouth out. Yeah. And he goes, if it was so great, why don't you eat it year round? And I said, because it's so great that day of Thanksgiving. Cannot be touched. But cold stuffing is not that bad.
No, it's not
cold gravy is not good. Not good. So that continues on. But nonetheless, Ryan's got some other stories we got to get to. Call it the morning update. Please take it away.
All right. Well, the Guardians are winners of the first one against the Royals as they come back 5-0. They score 8 unanswered. Josh Naylor goes oppo. Tyler Freeman with a center shot to give them, or to tie it, I should say. And then a horrible error by Bobby Witt to give the Guardians what would be the final 8-5 victory.
He thought there was one out. It was actually 2. Tried to tag second base, didn't, and then got caught in between. Threw it away at first. Guardians score a couple runs. Was it not the Magic Man, David Fry?
was?
It was the Magic Man, David Fry. That guy, you talk about good mo and good just juju. That guy carries it around with him. Something about that. And, all right, going back to some national articles we did last week about the MVP and what they think about David Fry. Is there a little part of you that is waiting for it to fall off, for the cliff, for you to wake up out of this David Fry dream? I keep thinking it, but man, does he just not keep no. You know what I mean? No, I'm just going to keep doing these things. You think, are they going to start pitching him differently? Are they going to start maybe you just found somebody. Wouldn't that be something, you talk about Guardians, what has it always been in the past with them? They found pitchers off the scrap heap. They found a pitcher that they turned into, maybe they finally did with a hitter. I'm riding, David Fry needs to be in the lineup every day. Every day until he just goes on a massive slump. You got to keep him in there. The good news is he plays 7 different positions, right? The only positions I don't think you can put him at is second base, shortstop, pitcher, and center field, right?
Yeah, and then even, the Guardians in center field.
Yeah, sure. You know he can play left and right. You know he can play first and third, and you know he can catch. There is no reason to take him out of the lineup right now. So, well done on him. Finding ways to get wins, and you sent a message to the Royals. You sent it where we got, and that happens in sports. When you just have a team that you're we just have their number. I think you just did that with the Royals. And that's one game, and I'm putting a lot of sauce on that. But I love what I saw. That game was fun. And isn't it so great that all day, I can't wait for the games. I'm not wishing today away, but dude, I can't wait for tonight. It's going to be so much fun. Get it done, guards. Go for 2 in a row on these sons of guns.
All right, well, the Cavs are adding to the list of head coach interviewees as they interviewed David Adelman, assistant.
Not Rick. I'm going to keep saying Rick.
The Nuggets' top assistant coach. I believe now, Matt, that is 7 people that they have interviewed to replace J.B. Bickerstaff as the next Cavaliers head coach.
I could see around 10. So David Adelman is 43 years old. He's been an assistant since 2011. He started and was with Minnesota for 5 years as a player development assistant. Then he spent a year with the Magic. He's been with Michael Malone in Denver since 2000. Well, Malone's not been there that whole time, right? No. But he's been with Denver since 2017. And, of course, his dad is Rick Adelman, longtime coach. Well, it's I can't not draw the comparisons to JB with his dad, Bernie, who was with the Cavs in the front office. I just think there's something to be said there. Now, is he a top, assistant? Sure, potentially. He's 43, so he's a little bit on the younger side. Borrego is not that old, right? How old is James Borrego?
No idea.
James Borrego, he's 46. He's 46. Atkinson's in his early 50s. Nothing wrong with that. I wonder how much that factors in about having a younger. I kind of skew younger. You want to know why I skew younger?
John Beilein.
John Beilein is the correct damn answer there. I don't need somebody 70 coming in and doing this. I like that element of the younger guy. What I would ideally love to have is a younger guy that has played. That would be JJ Redick.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the player aspect of it. I do. I like the younger player aspect of it. We'll see. I would expect, 3 more. I think we'll get to double digits. And then you'll start to see the second interviews and make your hire. I still think you'll have a coach by this time I would say next time next week. I think you might have a coach next week. I think you do. I think you'll do. We'll see how it goes.
All right, well, Christian McCaffrey is the latest NFL superstar to get his payday. He signed a 2-year extension. That'll give him about $19 million a year. That resets the running back market. This is the second time he's done it in 4 years now, man.
But you know what the deal was on that? They now don't owe him any more money in year 3. Year 3 is not guaranteed anymore. So what the 49ers said, here, we owe you this money over the next couple of years. We're going to give you a raise for the next 2 years, but in year 3, we don't have to pay you anymore. And, that maybe tells you about the running back. That being said, though, it's Christian McCaffrey, and he's not just a running back. He does so much else. Somebody posted a funny video of man, all these quarterbacks are getting paid, and it's McCaffrey with that touchdown when he threw it to Ayuk. That money's going to start wearing thin for them. Ayuk wants a deal, right? Bosa is paid up. Javon Hargrave, there's money that's got to go around there, and eventually it's going to be the biggest one of them all. What do you give Brock Purdy? Do you sit there and play hardball to go, it's not all you, buddy?
I mean, as a business, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to
And I think
cause
maybe he's got to
strain,
Well,
yeah.
then the thing is, what you are doing, we can go find somebody else to do what you're doing. You put that on Kyle Shanahan to believe that you could do that? You know, again, salary cap's going up, but I think there's something to be said. That also kind of is semi on the track there of them having to pay Brock Purdy. But you imagine that offense without him? You know the number one guy I think they could do without? George Kittle. Am I wrong for that? Even more than Ayuk. It's easy to say, you just do without Brandon Ayuk. I think they're going to do without George Kittle. Am I wrong? He had a little bit of down here.
Yeah, he's just so versatile in the blocking.
I know, he's a very good blocker. It's a good point. 49ers, those are good problems to have out there in San Francisco. And they got to address it. Good for McCaffrey. Again, I don't think that does much for a lot of other. What other backs do you really look at that you say, this helps them? Saquon's on a new team paid. Derrick Henry's on a new team paid. Jonathan Taylor got his deal. Kamara is paid up. Nick Chubb has got his deal. Like, who's the next stud running back? Probably,
Bijan.
Oh my God, no, not Bijan. Or sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way. Detroit, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs. And I know they split those carries up there with those two guys. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the next up-and-coming guy. And he's still 2 years away from his deal. So I don't know if this really helps or resets things for running backs who don't get paid anyway. But good for McCaffrey.
All right, well, about 2 months ago, Matt, it was announced that Jonte Porter was banned from the
glad you
NBA
brought
for
this up,
gambling
man.
violations. Well, we have the next chapter in this saga. Long fee Bruce Pham. He was arrested at JFK Airport in New York on Monday as he tried to board a flight to Australia with a one-way ticket and a lot of money on him.
Where are you running from the cops? Australia's a damn good answer, man.
So apparently, Pham was working with Jonte Porter, and Porter told him that he would exit early. As a result, the co-conspirator won $40,000 on a bet.
It is exactly what you would think for point shaving. Jonte Porter got in with the wrong people, owed them money, and he started throwing stuff. He didn't throw games, but he threw what he was doing. What is one thing, Ryan, that I have said on this show over and over and over again, and it's kind of a little life motto I live by? You are going to get caught. I don't care what you do. You are going to get caught. Seriously. What brain-dead idiots these guys are. How did you for a second think that you were going to get away with this? You morons! Seriously. This isn't back bookies. These aren't guys in the back of a restaurant like Goodfellas shelling out $100. These are digital footprints on apps that they track with a guy that has no right to be having that much money bet on him. You idiots. They deserve to go to jail for being morons, let alone the illegal stuff that they were doing. It is straight up what the NBA fears. This guy was changing outcomes to pay off bookies. And that is a lesson to be said and learned for the guy in baseball that just got had and is out forever. For Jonte Porter, you're done, bro. You are done. Never again. There is no appeal. There is no reinstatement. You are gone. And you want to know the other thing that I think they should maybe start implying on this stuff? Fines. Why don't you sue his ass for getting that money back? And I'm sure the feds will go after that money. It's not like you get to keep that money. You know, because the story came out, too, of the Pirates when that guy went down. Michael Kelly, who pitched for the Guardians yesterday. This is one that I think is a little too much. They went back to 2021, and he placed $20 bet. He's going to lose a season of his career for $90. That's what he bet 3 years ago. All right, that is a little much. And he never bet on his own games. But you got to realize what Jonte Porter did is the cardinal sin of it all. There is no reinstatement. There is no appeal process. You're gone, man. You're done. And you need to resend this message to a lot of these players. Do you really want to give up that money? $40,000 is what he was in debt for. He was making hundreds of thousands, even as a G League player. Send that message, man. What idiots. Seriously. Him and his bookies. You are going to get caught. It is impossible for you not. I say this, as somebody that I understand the answer about what I'm going to say, but I'm saying anyway. How are illegal books still a thing? And what do you say? Taxes, right? When you pull that money out, they're going to come knocking. Hey, man, did you take your tax hit on that? When you're doing cash transactions with a guy out back of a pizza parlor, ain't nobody know about that, right? I get it. I understand the answer to that. But the fact that they were even doing it on digital, like, I can't say, what idiots. Seriously, what morons. Send him to jail. Get him away. Straight to jail. Straight to jail.
Not visiting.
Well, we go to jail sometimes here on the Immaculate Grid. They send us to jail. Imagine if we had to do this grid to get out of jail, Ryan.
Well, let's try and get out.
Let's do that today. Send it back in. We hit it yesterday. We had such a flub on Monday. That was my fault. We're back on it. New to the show. We got to go up and down, left and right. Players had to played for a game in one of these teams and 50 career sacks. Go.
We Michael Strahan for the Giants.
Sure. I also weirdly think he works for the Eagles. We'll come up with another player, but that's fine. This one always gets us. Because I want to say Ryan Kerrigan. No, Strahan only ever played for one team, so I'm an idiot. I want to say Ryan Kerrigan because I don't think of any elite pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan works. Go, Ryan. Dude, he's got 95.5 sacks. Oh, my God.
Green Bay?
Wait. No. Does Reggie White not work for the Eagles and the Packers? Because the other one that I would maybe go with is Clay Matthews III. Right?
I would think so.
So what do you want to do here? And by the way, I'm not misremembering Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, which is still just one of the most kick-ass nicknames in football. Eagles, Packers, right. So, do you want to rip it Clay Matthews that he had 50 sacks in his career? He had to have had, right? Yeah, go Clay Matthews. Go Clay Matthews, and we'll go Reggie White on the other side. All right? Clay Matthews the third.
2009 to 19?
Yes.
Had it.
Yes. All right, go Reggie White. And we're off to a solid start. Yes. Yes, Eagles, Packers.
All right. 85 to 2000?
Yes. Can you believe, man, he only passed away 4 years after he's 43 years old. That sucks. Reggie White, what a guy. All right, you want to just finish out Jets, Packers? Is anything coming to mind there?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He played 6 snaps, Ryan.
Funny enough, I was thinking Alan Lazard, but yeah.
That works too, but you want to have the rarity score, you can go with Alan Lazard. He played a game, by God, he did. There he is. All right, Commanders, Eagles. Commanders, Eagles, something is speaking to me.
Did Deshaun Jackson play for the Commanders?
I think he did.
I think he did.
Let it rip. I think he did. God. I feel pretty good about that.
I always missed like a middle one.
No. He did. Yeah. No. You're good. There's no way it's not. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Good.
Jets, Washington.
Is that not Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Sounds.
Is that not Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Sounds good.
Go. Just do it. I need to stop Googling. I'm not doing it truthfully here. Fitzpatrick. Okay. All right. Giants.
Jets, Giants. Did Brandon Marshall not play for them? Am I totally making that up?
Oh, no. You don't even need to do him because you know who played for both was Leonard Williams. Remember? He just literally flipped across the two and now he's in Seattle. And I think I got one here, Giants, Eagles. Remember when Matt Breida came up for one a little while ago and we were just so angry that we screwed that up? Did he play for Philly?
I don't know.
I mean, I know he played for New York.
I know he played for New York.
But
let's see if we can think of anything else.
Okay.
Let's think of quarterbacks first.
Sanchez, no. I know he played in Philly. I don't think he played for the Giants. Colt McCoy never played for Philly. He was in New York. Did Randall Cunningham play for the Giants? I don't know why. I feel like that is a thing. Why do I feel like that's a thing? Eagles, Vikings, Cowboys, Ravens. It was not Randall Cunningham. Okay. All right. Okay.
Should we see if the YouTube's got anything?
Yeah, see if anybody's got any on YouTube. And we'll take Twitter comments, by the way. We always welcome your help here. Always welcome your help here.
Which one do we still need?
We need Giants. Eagles, Giants. Eagles, Giants. We got some other ones, though. Some other ones that they're kind of filled in there.
Plaxico Burress. I don't know if is that referring to the Eagles.
Ooh. Wait, go back to the grid. Because what was the other one? Giants. Yeah. Plaxico might work there.
I don't know if that's the one he was referring to.
It has to be because it's got to be Giants. I know he played for the Giants. I know he played for the Steelers.
Should we rip?
And I don't remember him playing for the Jets, though. That's a good one.
Should we rip it?
If you want.
I don't know. Was that the one he was referring to?
It had to have been one with the Eagles.
Oh, he said no, not for that one. So good thing we didn't rip it.
Oh, what was the other one I was thinking of then?
He said that was for Giants Jets.
Oh, did he play for the Jets? All right. Okay, my bad. Good stop there. Yeah, go back. I got to stare at it. Here. Oh, my God. I know there's going to be one that's just like... Again, he hasn't played there yet, but it's Saquon. That doesn't count. Does Brandon Marshall work there, too?
I don't remember Brandon Marshall ever on this.
I think I do. No. Again, the grid, it just puts stuff in your head that you don't, you want to envision it, but you can't. Wow. Like, what about J.J. Arcega-White? Remember that guy? Remember him?
On the Eagles.
Yeah. Arcega-Whiteside. Yeah, just the Eagles. Oh, my God.
Herschel Walker?
Does that work? I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it. I believe it.
We rip it?
Yeah, rip it. Rip Herschel Walker here. I'll believe it. Here we go. Yeah! Nice. Well done.
Is there any you want to see?
Go back Giants Eagles, because there's one that's gnawing at me here that we didn't get. Herschel Walker, yeah.
Deion Lewis, maybe Golden Tate. Oh, we always forget about Golden Tate.
Yeah, we forgot about Golden Tate. Deion Lewis is a good one. I should remember that. I don't check wide receivers for me, please. Thank you. Nothing?
Steve Smith?
No. All right. Well, we got it done. Thank you very much for that. Another day on the grid. All right, come back. We'll jump into timeout. We'll get to our bracket. We got to dive back into the guards. Hopefully, we get our boost up with Tipico. All comes your way next. Fontana Show, big play. Stay with us.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
Hope you're ready for some movies and TV shows over there, buddy, because we got a lot today. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What if I go 5 for 5?
Would that take over us screwing up Monday's Immaculate Grid? We're back on it. Well, we're not going to do the grid tomorrow. Damn, because we'll be on the live stream.
We could still do it
Ryan
tomorrow.
and I guess we could. Ryan and I have this going where if we do a full week of not missing on the Immaculate Grid, we'll do a giveaway on Friday.
If I go 5 for 5, it cleanses that.
All right. Now, see, I'm going to be apt to being giving you easy answers.
Do it like you normally would, though.
Here's the issue. I'm pretty sure there's one you've never even heard of and you're not going to get.
All right, well, we'll see.
So we'll see. All right, hold that off. We'll get to that in timeout. Want to wrap up with the guards. We'll update our Twitter question that we're going. And I just saw this insane stat that came out from Fox. Not that. Calm down. It's Fox News. But the 5 things that employers say recent college graduates have annoyed them the most in job interviews. So again, imagine somebody like young Ryan walking into a job interview. These are the 5 most common things that employers say are driving them up the wall. The last one, I cannot believe. I cannot believe. And they say 19% of employers have faced this with a recent college graduate. I'll get to it in a second. But
I feel like I almost have a guess.
All right, good. Hold that. Let's run through a busy timeout and get to our movies at first. All right, we go back 1 year ago today. Do you remember when the Browns players got their cars stolen?
Yeah.
That was 1 year ago today.
Yep.
Or at bar. I mean, again, it's like, I know this town has our problems. You know, all our hearts go out to what happened in North Olmsted the other day. Like, I just, as a father now, I cannot comprehend that. That is just, damn, you know, and everybody, you know, again, I would like to say I believe that we live in a safe town. I know it's not always the case, and I know there's areas that are need some help and all that kind of stuff, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've mentioned this before. I think somebody, I got my car stolen last year. Like, going through that. It's not like that uncommon of a thing to do. But when you're a Browns player and you have that kind of car and people see it, it's just like, it's unfortunate that there are people out there that feel like they need to do that, or that there is violence in their heart. And man, you know, it sucks. But you're out there, you got the cars, it is what it is. I mentioned this earlier. 1 year ago today, a report that Kyrie wanted the Mavs to go trade for LeBron. Can you imagine LeBron, Luka, and Kyrie on one team together?
Dirty.
That'd be a pretty dirty team. This day, 2019, Odell Beckham had his availability for the Browns. And he said, he dropped the lines about how special he feels this team could be. He's excited to be here, and the goal is to hang banners. He never wanted to be here. And I say this, and people get angry when I say this. I appreciate Odell for at least trying for a little bit. I don't say he tried the whole time, but I feel like he tried for a little bit. He didn't want to come here, call it for what it is. Bad move. Who cares? And we move on. That's it. Like, you tried. I just think it's be one of those things that you look back and, man, Odell Beckham played here. But also, then people start to rip the hype over, like, what he was in New York. He's never really lived back up to it. Injuries. What do you expect him out of Miami this year?
I don't know, man.
I think he could be a little piece there. I think he'd be a little piece. He wasn't anything in Baltimore when Jack squat nothing in Baltimore. But there could be a little piece for him down there in Miami. We'll see how it goes. This day, 2019, a very important one. Carlos Carrasco was placed on the injured list. At the time, with what they call a non-baseball illness, it was later revealed that he had a thankfully treatable form of leukemia. Beat it, came back. He's a part of our team right now. Carlos Carrasco, I'll fight you, say a bad word about him. I don't know anybody in this town that has a bad word about Carlos Carrasco. Now, is he pitching to the same form he used to? No, he's 37 years old. What do you want him to do? Love Carlos Carrasco. Will forever. This day, 2016. Set up the comeback. You got to lose a couple of games. Game 2, finals. Cavs lose 110-77. You remember that? And everybody goes, oh, my God. Like, we're screwed, right? Let me pull up the box score for this for you. $110-77. LeBron only had 19 points. Kyrie only had 10. Richard Jefferson had 12 off the bench. Those were the only 3 that you had in double figures. Shump, Deli, Mozgov off the bench. Flip it over for the Warriors. I don't want advanced stats. Give me points. 28 for Draymond. Steph had 18. Clay had 17. Leandro Barbosa had 10 off the bench. There's a name of the past. Harrison Barnes had 5. Festus Ezeli had 6. And they smoked us. We all know what happened, but they beat us in Game 2. This day, 2016. This day, 2015, American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. Seize the Gray, go 2 for 3 this weekend. Get it done on that. This day, 2011, BCS officially stripped USC of their national championship. Give it back. They gave Reggie his thing back. Just give it back to him. Who cares? We all know won the national championship. This day, 2007, Trevor Hoffman recorded his 500th save. Now, we all know we're looking up at Mariano Rivera. How many saves do you think Emmanuel Clase has in his career? So, again, Hoffman's got 500, as I mentioned. Let me see here. Emmanuel Clase. I want to go career here.
He's so young.
He is. You got a lot of time. Okay, how many saves do you think he has in his career?
Let's say 60.
He's got 130.
Oh, jeez.
130.
Holy crap.
Because he's already about to pass Cody Allen, I think, and Bob Wickman. Most saves all time. Mariano Rivera's got 652. Trevor Hoffman, 601. They're the only ones above 500. Then Lee Smith was 478. Craig Kimbrell and Kenley Jansen are the active leaders at 430 and 429. At 130 saves already for Emmanuel Clase, he gets to 143. He'll be top 50 all time. Cody Allen has 153 in his career. Where's my guy Wick? Bob Wickman's got 267. He's 35th all time. You know what made Bob Wickman so good? He's missing a chunk of his index finger.
Interesting.
Got it cut off in a farming accident when he was a kid. So when he would pitch, he always had that little thing because he was missing the tip of his index finger. Little fun fact there on Wick. We continue on with Time Up. This day, 2003, Sammy Sosa got caught using the corked bat. He broke it. They grab it and goes, I meant to use it for BP to help the kids get home runs and BP. My ass. All right, Sammy. Who do you think is the dirtiest cheater in baseball? Is it Bonds? Is it Clemens? Is it Sammy Sosa? They all did bad things.
The Astros organization.
Astros count that. Oh, here's an even better one. I don't know why my nose is so itchy. My allergies are killing me. Who's the biggest cheater in sports history? Is it Lance Armstrong?
I was going to say Lance
Is it Lance Armstrong?
I was going to say Lance Armstrong.
Is it Lance?
I was going to say Lance.
Is it Lance? Bonds, Sosa. What's basketball? They're a big cheater in basketball? Football? Tom? Deflate? the
it's got to be Lance.
The sign stealing stuff, or the video stuff with the Patriots. Like the Saints thing with Great, that's not cheating. That was just something they weren't supposed to do. It was the biggest cheater in sports history.
Gotta be Lance.
Gotta be Lance, probably. I would probably say so. Here's an interesting story. Do you know who Tim Belcher is? Do you remember when he was the Guardians pitching coach?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Do you know that he was the first overall pick in the 1983 draft and didn't sign with the Twins? 83 draft, this day in history. Tim Belcher was taken first overall, refused to sign with Minnesota. Now, this happened a couple years ago. Remember when the Astros took Brady Aiken first overall, and then they had issues with his elbow? They wouldn't give him the money that he wanted. He had Tommy John. The Guardians drafted Brady Aiken like 17th overall the next year. Do you know who was also in the 1983 draft with 19th overall? Roger Clemens. Imagine they just took Clemens instead of Belcher. Juicing up, all that. We'll see how it goes.
Brown signed safety Brady Breeze.
I like that name. They had an open roster spot. They cut that Lucas Haversick, whatever the kicker, and they got a safety in. Do you know that Joe Namath almost left the NFL over a bar?
Like a drinking?
Yeah. He owned a bar. This day, 1969, Joe Namath resigned from the NFL after Pete Rozelle demanded that he sell his stake in a New York bar. Now, eventually, Namath came back, and I think he did sell the bar or whatever. But, like, Namath, Joe, he wants to own a bar, and Pete Rozelle said, you can't do that. So Namath said, fine, I'll leave. And he did. He eventually came back and played, though. This day, 1966, the NFL and the AFL merged. Probably a good idea. This day, 1946, in a ballroom at the Commodore Hotel in New York, the discussions began to create the National Basketball Association. Again, pretty good idea to have that. Very happy birthday goes out to tennis star Bjorn Borg. Cam Neely. Do you know who Cam Neely is?
I don't think so.
He's a hockey player, but more famously known as an acting role when he played Seabass in Dumb and Dumber. He's a hockey player by trade. They needed a big goon guy to play Seabass, and he did in Dumb and Dumber. Cam Neely.
Isn't Seabass the dude from SpongeBob?
What's that?
Isn't Seabass the dude from SpongeBob?
No, the guy that you're talking about the guy that came in as the pickles guy,
yeah, isn't that Seabass?
And he kept telling. Is that his name?
I'm pretty sure that's his name, Seabass.
The one where he was challenging SpongeBob to make the perfect Krabby Patty, and it was under his tongue. Yeah. And there's one from last time, and there's my car keys.
Yeah.
And then he runs out. Is that Seabass?
I'm pretty sure it's Seabass.
Seabass, you're right. Pickles! There's no pickles! It was Seabass. A good pull on that one. If that guy at the table, Seabass and the fellas, they offered to pick up our check. He said, put on their tab. Seabass said that? Well, if that guy at the table over there is Seabass, that was great. Got it from a movie. Got away scot-free. No, they caught up to him a half mile down the road and slit his throat. It was a good one. God, I love Dumb and Dumber. What a movie. Not in today's movies. We'll get to that in a second. Former Brown and current Strongsville head coach, Jason Trusnick, Roger Saffold, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Wahlberg, Neil Patrick Harris, Pete Wentz, Nick Kroll, Kenny G, Peanuts, bassist for 311, and Michael Regai. What a damn day for birthdays today. Happy birthday to Reg. I'm Michael Regai. Of all my career, I've had a chance to work with a lot of great people and meet a lot of great people, dude. Working with Regai early in my career was some of my favorite memories, man. I hope he's doing well. I love Regai. All right. 5. The gauntlet is set.
It's a lot at stake.
Here we go. This day, these are all movies. So let's start with this. All movies.
I think that's probably for the best.
Good. This day, 2009. A group of friends go on a bachelor party. And it goes awry. Correct.
Ooh, all right, good start.
Hangover. Again, an extremely quotable movie.
Oh, yeah.
Hangover makes me depressed when I watch it because I remember that I was in college when I watched it, and that movie is coming up on 20 years
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
It is. Second one, not good. Third one, trash. But the first one is great. All right, The Hangover. Next up, an animated film that came out this day, 1998. This is a coming-of-age musical based on a... all right, I'll give it to you. Chinese legend.
It's a musical?
Yeah, there's a lot of music in this. There's a lot of animated Disney films did.
Mulan?
That is correct. So Mulan is correct. I was going to say about a young woman trying to break down stereotypes. She joins the army. Yes, Mulan is correct. 1998. All right. Also this day, 1998. A man finds out that his entire life has been fake.
Truman Show?
That is correct. The Truman Show is correct. I was going to continue on to say and broadcast for the entire world to see. The Truman Show is correct. All right. Next up. This one, I'm just going to read you, because I don't want to foul this up. I'm just going to read you the Wikipedia here. This movie came out this day, 1992. It is a sequel to a film that came out in 1990 and a part of a series of films starting from a novel series from Tom Clancy.
Oh, Jack Ryan?
Yes.
Reacher.
No. I'm going to leave it open here for you.
It's not Jack Ryan?
It's not. 1992. So take it on back. It's a sequel to The Hunt for Red October.
It is Jack
Ryan.
Is the character in it?
Yes. Do you want the actor? Would that help?
Isn't it Tom Cruise?
No, this is pre-Tom Cruise.
Oh, this is Alec Baldwin, isn't it?
No. I'm trying to help you out because I want you to get it for the streak here.
It's the sequel to Hunt for Red October.
Sequel for The Hunt for Red October and a part of the series of Jack Ryan novels from Tom Clancy. But different actors were always in the leading role. This one stars Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan. So close.
It's not like Ghost Recon or something like that.
No.
Jack Ryan.
The followed sequel, which Harrison Ford reprised his role, was Clear and Present Danger. So you somehow need to get the film in between Hunt for Red October and Clear and Present Danger in the Jack Ryan series. And again, now it's off into all this other stuff, but we're talking about the 90s here.
I don't know.
What's the Mel Gibson movie where he plays a Revolutionary War soldier?
The Patriot. The Patriot. I don't know.
If I go play something, I'm playing a
sport game.
Patriot games.
Never would have got.
Never
that.
heard of
Damn
Patriots games. Yes, Patriot games.
Damn it.
1992.
That wasn't even the one you.
That wasn't even the one I didn't know if you would get or not. It's very, very hard.
This one is the one?
Potentially, because this is not a... I don't believe that this is a well-known film, okay? But I've seen it. I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
All right.
And it came out this day, 1987, where a family's encounter with a mythological creature that proves to be alive, and he moves in with them for a little while.
A mythological creature.
Yes. So when you think about a mythological creature, who do you think of?
I think of like a minotaur.
Not like that. Like
a centaur?
No.
Well, what do you mean by creature?
Like, you would believe
like
that they're real, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
okay,
like
something like a mermaid.
Kind of like that. Keep going. Not a mermaid, but a... People they see them all the time.
Bigfoot?
That is correct.
There's a Bigfoot moves in with a family?
Yeah. John Lithgow, Melinda Dillon. Harry and the Hendersons. You ever heard of it? No, I used to watch Harry and the Hendersons all the time. Harry and the Hendersons. And by the way, who played Harry was the late, great Mr. Kevin Peter Hall, who also played the Predator in Predator. Harry and the Hendersons.
Couldn't go 5 for 5.
John Lithgow. They hit him with the car. They put him in the car. They take him home. He wrecks their house, and then there's a hunter trying to kill him, and they got to get him back home to his family.
Never heard of it.
Harry and the Hendersons. Not a bad flick there. Not a bad flick at all. All right, before we get to the bracket, do you want the 5 things that interviewers are getting from millennial people?
Yeah, I would love that.
So, okay, so this is on Fox News. Shout out to my buddy Joe. He posted this, and I thought it was hilarious. So they did this where during recent job interviews, employees have said recent college graduates have done 5 of the following things. Number 1, 53% of recent college graduates in job interviews struggle with eye contact. I think it's like a nervousness thing. I mean, you don't always look straight at people when you talk. You kind of look away, but like eye contact. Number 2, 50%.
Ayo!
What?
It is about damn time the Cleveland Browns have extended Coach Stefanski and Andrew Berry.
Okay, there it is.
Let me see if I can get the numbers.
Yep. Do they have anything out there reported?
This is from Jimmy Haslam. We are incredibly fortunate to have Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry leading the Cleveland Browns. Since the day they were hired, each has worked tirelessly to help the Cleveland Browns win. We are proud of what they and the team have achieved, but Kevin and Andrew would be the first to say that Browns fans deserve even more. Their leadership, collaborative approach, and ability to overcome obstacles bodes well for the future of this franchise.
Any idea on the length here? I haven't seen anything. Pelisaro's on it now. I'm waiting for Schefter.
I don't see any numbers.
I'm assuming it's like a 3-year deal, something like that. Extension on that. Yeah, congratulations to Coach and Andrew Berry. And we all knew that this was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen in Combine Week, to be honest with you. They deserve it. You are in the stewardness of your job, right? When you talk about these guys are in charge of being the stewards for your franchise. They're kicking ass, man. They're kicking ass. They do a great job. It's the stability that you're talking about. And I think more than anything, and I'm going to say this just because of the other coaches that I've had to deal with, and it's not a direct shot at any one or the other. The professionalism that I get from Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. It doesn't mean much if you don't win games. If Andrew Berry does not select the right players, if Kevin Stefanski is not a good coach, we're not having this conversation. But when I think you add in just the players down and up this roster that Andrew Berry has found without first-round picks, when you see what Kevin Stefanski has done with Joe Flacco, with finding even what you got out of Baker Mayfield before that all went out, right? They have done amazing jobs. Beyond that, the professionalism, how they handle themselves, how they carry themselves, and frankly, the culture that they have set here. Based off of those things that I just told you, that is why I feel so damn good about those two men leading this football team. They deserve every dollar that they get. They deserve this extension. And I finally have something that I have craved for 25 years. Stability. These two guys are together on this thing. It's not about that guy getting credit or me getting credit or I turned that player into this and he didn't do that. These guys are together. And that is how you build a winning organization. So important. And I thank the Haslams for getting this deal done. I thank those guys for accepting the deal. And we're here today. You feel so good about the Browns. And in part, it's because of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. Well done. And congratulations to them. That is a big day for them. Today's a massive day for those guys. Their families, all of that. And you want to know what? I believe that they're still going to be sitting up tonight watching tape, right? And getting ready for practice. I believe in those guys. I believe in them a lot. And again, it was more of a not if, it was just when, and they do it now. And it just comes back to and whatever, Paul DePodesta and the Haslams and all that other kind of stuff. Get out of the way, let these guys do their jobs. And they kick ass at doing that. And now, even further beyond this, whatever happens with the Watson deal, these guys are entrenched. These are the guys that'll see you through this. Whatever there's a rebuild, I hope it doesn't come. You get Watson back to form. These are your guys for a long time. I want Berry and Stefanski here for 10, 15 years, if I can. Even just what I've seen already out of them. You have smart people doing a really good job. Let them cook. let them do what they're doing.
Yes,
and you get them this
sir.
extension. It just sends that signal to the team, to the rest of the organization. These are our leaders. These are our leaders. And I think it's, again, the professionalism, the selflessness that I see with them. That's why we're at where we're at today. So congratulations, seriously. And I've had a chance to talk to AB, interview Kevin Stefanski. They are good people. They are absolutely amazing people. And they deserve it. And I'm just happy to see people that are good at their jobs and good people get rewarded for that. And I'm happy for Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski today. Although Kevin got mad at me one time.
What'd you do?
So we were doing... So one of the things that I would do almost every year was do a show from the Browns facility for draft. And it was either usually, and again, we didn't have a lot of first-round picks, so it was usually Friday. So Tony and I would sit out there Friday nights and most of the day Saturday on a little pop-up table. We had a TV to watch the draft, and it was down the hall from the media room. So I'm sitting there, and I would do my show before Tony and I would be part of the bigger coverage, right? So I'm sitting there reading about something, and it was odds. It was betting odds. I think I was doing baseball. Like, we had baseball games that night, and I was like, or basketball. I think it was basketball, something like that. And I was reading through some game lines and game spreads. And I get done, and the door opens, and it's Kevin. And he looks at me. He knows who I am. And he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, Matt, we don't talk gambling in here." And I couldn't tell if he was joking or serious. And I was like, "I'm sorry, coach." And he just walks out. And again, I could not tell if he was joking with me or if he was serious. He goes, "We don't talk gambling."
Probably being serious.
I think he was being serious. And I was like, "Sorry, coach. Sorry." But then he'd give me crap. Like, I'd be walking to get like more pizza out there, and he'd go, "Oh, two pizza a day for you today, Matt, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, how's it going?" You know, they'd always serve pizza or lunch or that kind of stuff. He's a good dude. Kevin's a great dude. So I'm happy for him and Andrew Berry.
Great way to end the show.
Yeah, got that little bit of news right
I do
there.
need to know the last thing now.
All right, let's run through this. Then we got to get to the bracket. We can go over a little over today. That's fine. Oh, I got to find it again. So again, this was, all right, hang on. I got to find it here. So again, this was on Fox News. The 5 things that employers are hearing from Gen Z, fresh out of college. 53% of recent college graduates in job interviews struggle with eye contact. 50% ask for an unreasonable salary. 47% dressed inappropriately for the job interview. 27% used inappropriate language during the job interview. 21% had a refusal to turn on a camera during a virtual interview, which I just don't understand. 19%, Ryan. You will never guess.
Was it something about working from home?
No.
Was it something about like vacation?
No. They brought their parent to the interview.
Oh, God.
19% of interviewing managers said that recent college graduates
What, are they just
brought
sit in a room
a
with them?
parent to the interview. As a parent, if my son came to me and said, "Dad, take me to this interview," like, I'll drive you there. I'm staying in the car.
Yeah.
You're on your own, man.
That actually is crazy.
What do you think that's going to do? They took a parent. That's more of a shot on the parents, I think.
Yeah, to be like.
Than the kids. Parents going to a job interview? Again, I'll drop you off. I'll drive you down there, right? That's fine.
Nuts. That's pretty nuts.
But I'm staying in the car. I'm not going in there. Get out. So again, these were the top 5 things they're realizing, or that they're dealing with millennial, Gen Z, recent college graduates. Struggle with eye contact, unreasonable compensation requests, dressed inappropriately, used inappropriate language, refused to turn on a camera during a virtual interview, and 19% brought a parent with them to the interview.
Really
Isn't that cringe? Isn't that bad?
That's like an
so
instant
bad.
no.
That's so bad. All right, let's get to it. Bracket of the week. Very close.
Yeah, very close.
Reese's Puffs does take it down. I think only by a couple percentage points, right?
Yeah, but the Cinnamon Toast Crunch ran away.
There you go.
So we got Group 3 and Group 4 going tonight.
There you go. Group 3, run through, please.
Lucky Charms, Honey Bunches of Oats, Captain Crunch Rice Krispies. Group 4 is Frosted Flakes, Cocoa Puffs, Fruity Pebbles, and Life.
Yeah, there you go. What my tweets? What would your dad have done if you asked him to go with your big play interview? I did interview. I sat down with Ken and Dave. You imagine what? This is my dad.
This is my dad.
I brought my mom with me. Brought my wife. You know, that's different. Like sometimes big jobs, you will go to like a dinner, with your significant other and that.
A parent's crazy.
But a parent is absolutely crazy. All right, reminder, tomorrow we're going to do 1 to 3. We're going to do a live stream with our friends at Tipico tomorrow. So it'll be Ryan and I watching the game, betting aside. If you haven't gotten signed up with Tipico, tomorrow will be the day. We're going to be live betting, man. We're going to get a Nerfy running tomorrow. Get signed up. Tipico code Fontana150. New customers only. Deposit $150. You get $275 protected bets, and you can get that bankroll going for us tomorrow. So we'll talk to you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We'll send a tweet out to remind everybody, and we'll talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.